Welcome to Harisystems. In this session today we will learn Linux interview questions and answers for freshers and experienced people. Now see here we'll give a brief explanation regarding interview questions, what they are having in a real-time scenarios. Those seeking in a job searching or interviews or attending or learning courses of the many people or who are already involving working in an environment of Linux wise flavor operating systems. They can avail all these interview questions. We are planning to release some of questions which are updatedly asking frequently in updates in a manner we release based on the series wise. We are introducing such a series of interview questions and answers. The series may increase to that, meaning that the latest updates are keep on updating in a particular manner. Let's have a glance look into that interview questions along with the answers one by one. How you find kernel version on Linux server? Do you identify that how many are facing this question in a regular interviews at all? This is the basic question, and this is the mandatory question for Linux administrators who are entering into that functionality area. But I can tell you that the answer is here. Simple words and explain you. Linux kernel by using hash, that prompt it indicates root user, that uname command. Uname is the Linux command to get system information such as the version of operating system, like it's in a 32-bit or 64-bit, and it means that you are running in a Linux kernel version, the 4.4.0-97 or more generic in terms. That means you are running in a Linux kernel version, it's a 4.4. It will shows appropriately your operating system, which version you are installed on your server or desktop, as well along with that whether it is in a 32-bit operating system, it indicates x86, or 64-bit operating system. And go to the next question. What is grep command? In regular manner, many of the users who are familiar with the terminal or who don't know the terminal, they need to learn grep command is more essential for the Linux administrators. Now have a look into that. Grep, a search command that makes use of pattern based searching. Like you know that the pattern indicates I need a particular number from out of the bunch of text or bunch of files. That particular number only I need wherever it is replicating in the particular file. Hence I will use the grep command by using the pipe and like a where condition. If you know the SQL, in a such a pattern we'll write a grep command to parameters that specified along with the command and applies that pattern to searching in a required output what we requesting from you by using the grep command. And next, how do you terminate an ongoing running processes? It's very important for Linux administrators and Linux using users whoever. The running process means, for example, I will tell you that I am running a Apache web server. Something it's getting an error or something it's not giving a particular proper output what I am expecting. Hence something I am written in a log, there is might be an error. If it is running that particular web server, I won't able to do such a correction of that particular process. I want to stop or terminate that particular process and I need to do such a rectification and I need to restart that particular web server. Hence that service is only works on in a proper manner. Now we will see how we need to terminate an ongoing running process. Every process in the system, it's identified by a unique process ID or PID, we can call it as process ID. Use the kill command followed by the PID to terminate that process. To terminate all process at once using kill command also. In example, I am specifying that terminal, that command, that dollar symbol indicates the root user, kill -9 tomcat. In a regular manner, if I am using tomcat, it's not require any PID. Straight away, I know that kill -9 tomcat, that service name I am indicating over here. Either that service name or the PID of the particular service name, we can specify to kill or terminate that particular running process. And you know that service start tomcat or a systemctl starts a tomcat to reinitiate the process to run the process. Okay, we'll see next. What is bootloader in Linux operating system? Many of the people, irrespective to the fresher or experience, they may face this is the important interview question. And they may think that what is the bootloader? It's a nothing simple way, and we can easily answer. I can switch on the system and I'll see the display icon like asking the username and password I am entering. That's it. That is the bootloader. Some of the persons, they may try to answer it, but it's absolutely wrong. There is a process they have defined in bootloader steps, like Unix operating system, Linux, as well Windows also. Now we'll see here the bootloader. What is the bootloader? Is a piece of script code that runs before any operating system which is running on booting of the operating system. We'll have in a glance explanation at Harisystems channel is there. The complete steps of bootloaders, you'll have in a look into that. The step by step 6 stages will cover there. Completely go through it. Now, how do you comment a line on shell script? There is a script we are writing to automate such a things, some prioritized tasks. For example, we are running like a web server, or we are running in a MySQL server, and unfortunately the connections of ideal connections are MySQL database server is going in a high priority and high manner. I want to stop or terminate such ideal connections on every hour interval basis. It's a temporary solution I am giving to the server by writing like a shell script or cron job, which is need to run a particular shell script. In a particular shell script, I want to terminate or comment a line. How it is possible? It's very simple by using hash. See here the symbol hash symbol actual comment text. This tells that shell to completely ignore that particular following line. Okay. What is GRUB bootloader in Linux? You study and understand about what is GRUB first. It's a bootloader package that supports multiple operating systems on a computer like Unix, Linux operating systems. GRUB, Grand Unified Bootloader. In a simple terms, that what happen when Linux booting? What will happen? Do you think what it's exactly happens? I am switch oning the server and it's coming. What happening? Nothing. See here. The boot sequence starts when the computer is turned on. The sequence says what we discussed earlier slide, that stages of booting, and completed when the kernel is initialized and system D is a process launched. The startup process then takes over and finishes its takes of getting the Linux computer into an operational state. How many types of bootings are there? See, it's a variety question. Restarting a computer, its operating system software, it's a types of two types: cold booting, warm booting. I can tell you that cold booting is when the computer is started after having switched off, and warm booting when the operating system alone is restarted without being switched off, and interventions, we are not done anything but itself it's restarting, we call it as warm booting. If the system is warm booting, we need to identify something is happening, we need to taken care of where the exactly the error is occurring while restarting the system. It may cause crash the system or freeze something. What is the first process in Linux? If the person is who is interviewing in a technical guy, he may try to ask you this very initial question. The first process of PID 1 is always assigned to in INIT process. Under the Linux, it's been provided by few systems, system V, upstart and system D. These are the processes of the first process. Why these things, system V, upstart and system D? The flavors of the operating system may change their services, hence its services are changing of their naming, convention and nomenclature. How do you check logs in Linux system? Simple, there is a command to enter change directory. I am going to change directory var log. There is a var log, the folder will having complete processes and installed packages, everything. The log folder, the name of the specified log folder will create there, and there it will shows the directories, and inside the directories itself the log files will be created and written logs on every interventions of the transactions. What does dmessage in a Linux? Dmessage, display message or driver message, is a command on most Linux, Unix like server operating systems that prints the message buffer of the kernel. The output of this command typically contains the messages produced by the device drivers. What is LUN? If you are in a fresher, I think you may not hear about LUN. If you are an experienced person who are working with the data, about data and SAN storage, they might have heard about the LUN. A LUN is a logical unit number. It's a unique identifier for designating an individual or collection of physical or virtual storage devices to execute input-output commands with a host computer, as defined by the small computer systems like a small system computer interfaces, that is SCSI standard hard disk, and the terminology used in servers. How do you check attached LUN in your Linux server? By using simple following command: cat/proc/scsi/scsi. To enter this command, the terminal, we should know about the attached LUN from a storage device in Linux like operating systems, as well as we know that details of the how much LUN it is attached and what are the path it's coming to attaching this particular server. How to lock and unlock an user account? Many of frequently question, this is a very important. by using simple two commands to lock a user and unlock, and also we identify whether the user is locked or not. This command can be either user mode -l. See here, I have given a detailed example over here. User mode -l. Tom is the user, the name of the user. I'm going to locking the user to. He need not to access my server. See, once the account gets locked, in a file of etc shadow, if we enter into the vi editor or someone which you are familiar into editor files or cat, you can use to edit a file called etc shadow as shown below. The Tom here exclamatory marks is showing means it is the user is logged. To unlock a particular Tom user mode space -u space the username. Hence the user again he can able to access the Linux server. What is WWN number? This is the number for to require to connect SAN storage. Earlier we discussed in a slide, that is LUN. The SAN storage, they provide data like terabytes or GBs, whatever it we are asking. They tell it as in a LUN. Based on the LUNs, they will attached on the by using this WWN number to identify our server, and they will attach. This is the number. It's a unique identifier that is assigned to the manufacturer by the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers IEEE standards, hard coded into a fiber channel. WWNs are important when setting up in a storage area network. We'll see next. What is firewall usage in Linux server? The firewall is plays a key role in Linux type servers. If it is in a production server, the firewall is in a big key role he will place. In server, blocks all the ports which are going to the outgoing as well as incoming, the network layer. Which the exact port, if it is on a HTTP like Apache server, will release only 80. Other ports, if it is not required, will block it. That major role will define either software firewall or hardware firewall. Firewall is a software that acts as a shield between user system and external network, along some packets to pass while disallowing to others to entertain in our server. On Linux systems, firewall is a service is provided by many softwares, most common which are firewall D and IP tables irrespective to the Linux operating server versions. What is NIS and NFS in Linux operating system? NIS, Network Information System, is a system network naming and administration system for small networks that was developed by Sun Microsystems. NIS consists of a server, a library of client programs, and some administrative tools are developed by Sun. NIS is often used with the network file system, NFS. NIS is a Unix based operating system, whereas NFS network file system to share the network folders and files and data vice versa from the client to server or server to server, whoever the requirements. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, share and comment any of your views, and also specify what are the type of questions you may require for other programming languages and other like server operating systems. We are ready to do such a work for you and arrange to collect the experienced people's the views of the interview questions and answers. To get more updates from Harisystems channel, please subscribe. Thank you.